Dillian Whyte says that Alexander Povetkin is a better opponent than Andy Ruiz. I'd have to disagree. I'll tell you why in a second, but before I do that, let me just quote the body snatcher directly here. He says, "It looks like it's going to be Povetkin. I think he's a better opponent than Andy Ruiz because one thing about Povetkin, he will come in shape and he will be motivated to fight. I just want to get a high-level guy to fight." All right, so those are the words of Dillian Whyte. Now, while I agree that Povetkin is a far more reliable fighter in terms of turning up in shape than Andy Ruiz, and he's generally very motivated, and I'd also say that Povetkin is more accomplished than Ruiz overall. Ruiz does have that one great win over AJ, and he was briefly unified heavyweight champion. But other than that, there's really nothing else on Andy Ruiz's resume. Overall, as a pro, I'd have to say that Povetkin's got a better resume than Andy Ruiz. If you look at all the guys he's beaten over the years. And certainly as an amateur, much better amateur than Ruiz as well. Povetkin is also technically better than Andy Ruiz. Got better head movement, better footwork, quicker feet, better defense. But as good as Povetkin is technically, and as many accomplishments as he's had, Father Time waits for no one. And there comes a point in every fighter's career where, as technically good as you might be, somebody with youth and superior energy and vigor is able to overcome your superior skills. That point will come in the career of every fighter. Yeah? And I personally think that Povetkin at this stage is on the decline. He has been on the decline for a little bit. Still dangerous. I'm not saying it's an easy fight for Dillian at all. But I think he's waning a little bit. Early on in Povetkin's career, he had stamina issues. He addressed those issues in the middle of his career. Then towards the end of his career, I think we're seeing the stamina issues crop up again. If you compare the recent form between Povetkin and Ruiz, Povetkin got a draw with Michael Hunter in his last fight. Then he went the distance with Hughie Fury. I'm not sure if he had a fight before that, but prior to then was the AJ fight. He lost in 7 rounds against AJ, whereas Ruiz stopped AJ in 7 rounds, then went the distance in the rematch. So on recent form, never mind what they've done in the past and Povetkin having a better resume overall, on recent form, you'd have to say Andy Ruiz has been more impressive against the highest level opposition. So, yeah, Ruiz, I know he's unreliable, but he does have youthful exuberance. He does have fast hands. He's very tough. He's got no quit in him, this guy, at least not from what we've seen so far. Povetkin, he's never shown any quit in him either, to be fair. Povetkin's always shown tremendous heart. But it gets harder and harder as you get older. You feel the punches more. Your reflexes are not quite the same. You don't have the same motivation in a fight when you get hurt to get in there and get the guy back when you get older. Trust me, I know. When I was young and I was boxing, sparring, all that kind of stuff, you almost have this cavalier, reckless attitude towards your own health. When you get older, you start thinking about your health more. Do you know what I mean? There comes a point when you're going in the gym and you're thinking, do I really want to spar with these young guys? You start thinking differently. You're at a different part of your life. So that happens to, top level professionals like Alexander Povetkin too. Do you really want to be in there with these young guys who are full of energy and you're the old grizzled veteran who's been through all the wars and all that kind of stuff? It's not quite the same. You don't feel the same way. The punches hurt more. The reflexes are not quite as good. And reflexes are different than speed. Yeah? Reflexes is the speed at which your brain processes information. You'll see certain things and your brain can trigger and say, okay, now we've got to react in this way. So you can have quick hands when you're hitting the bag or hitting the pads. That doesn't mean you've got quick reflexes. Yeah? And as you get older, the reflexes start getting slower. Just that split second slower, so the punches that would have connected before, you're missing them. And the shots that you would have slipped before, they're hitting you. So that's my take on it. I think that Ruiz, yes, he's unreliable in terms of his fitness and whatever, but he's now on his redemption path because he's been the Rocky Balboa. He's been the James J. Braddock Cinderella man. where he upset the odds and became champion. Then he's had the fall from grace a la Buster Douglas. Now he's on his redemption road. And if Dillian Whyte was part of that redemption road, I don't think Andy Ruiz would mess it up, personally. I think he would come in as good a shape as he can possibly be in. Look, Ruiz is never going to be a body beautiful. This guy's never going to turn up looking like a heavyweight Canelo, all right? But I think we'll see him in as good a shape as he was in the first AJ fight. You know, I think we'll see him in that kind of shape again, maybe even lighter than that. And if he fought Dillian Whyte, that's what I would expect. Yeah, because again, it's all about pride. It's all about redemption at this point. Going into the AJ rematch, those PBC guys were gassing him up. It wasn't just the money that led Andy Ruiz to not train in the way he trained for the first fight. No, it wasn't just the money. It was also the fact that he allowed those PBC guys to convince him that AJ was trash and that he could just walk in there and AJ was going to fall to bits after the first punch. This is what they convinced him of. Yeah, he got sucked in by the PBC cult of delusion. Very dangerous. So anyway, that's my take on it, people. Povetkin, as talented as accomplished as he is, I don't think he's quite what he used to be. And at this stage, I think Ruiz's speed, youth, aggression, toughness is a more formidable force than Povetkin would be for Dillian Whyte right now. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree or disagree. It's Hatman, I'm out. Hatman merch is now available. We got t-shirts, vests, hoodies, and more. Just click the link below. Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.